Welcome to the other 167. For a short meditation today, I have taken a topic, eternal values. Eternal values. And the biblical text is the Gospel of Luke chapter 12. We see in verse 13, someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." Tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. So what was the response of Jesus? Jesus replied, "Man, who appointed me a judge or an arbiter between you?" And further he tells, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." Jesus said, life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. And then further Jesus goes to tell a parable. Parable is like this. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." He had a good harvest, so he thought, where I'll store it. And then he said, "This is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain." So far so good, prudent enough. But then verse 19, he says, "I will say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." So we see the attitude of this man very clearly. Verse 20, God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourselves?" Also Jesus said, "This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves but is not rich towards God." There are 3 points I wanted to bring out, the things that stand against eternal values. There are 3 things that will stand against eternal values. One is avarice or greed. This man was greedy. It's fine that you have abundance, but he said to himself, "I store up this for years to come." He found security in his possession. And he also said, "Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." Is that the purpose of life? And then Jesus said, what if God asks your life this night? Where will your spirit be? Who will get what you have prepared for yourself? So there is greed or avarice that will stand against eternal values. The second point that will stand against eternal values is anxiety. Jesus further said in verse 22 of the Gospel of Luke chapter 12, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes." Then Jesus said, "Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap, they have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them." Jesus is telling that God provides everything for us. Do not worry or be anxious about anything in life. So worry can be something that will stand against eternal values. Our heart should be on God. Cast your burden upon Him and He will sustain. Our cares upon Him. So we should not have any worry as people of God, but our heart should be on God, who is the source of blessing and who provides everything. So we need to understand, anxiety will definitely stand against eternal values. Heart should be on God, with the source, who is the one who grants blessings and everything we need in life. Third is attitude. Our attitude will be something that is very important. A wrong attitude can stand against eternal values. Abraham was rich, but his heart was on God. Joseph was a big ruler of power, but he pleased God. Daniel had a great position in his nation, but he served God. So it is not the abundance of possession alone, but the attitude we have that will determine what will stand against the eternal values. When we see Paul writes like this in chapter 8, verse 13. If you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. So very important to realize that we should be people of eternal values. There are three things I said that will stand against eternal values. One is avarice. There are three A's. One is avarice, is greed. Our heart should be on God, not on possessions. Second is anxiety. We should be people who should be free, set our hearts on things above. Peter said, we have an inheritance in heaven that will never fade, spoil, or perish. Put our hearts on things on above. Set our heart on things above. Third is attitude. We may be rich, plenty, but our heart should not be on that things, material possessions. Our attitude should be that God, who is the source of blessing, has given me to share this. Our spirit belongs to God. Our body belongs to God. The body will perish, but the spirit goes to God. We should be people of eternal value. The three A's is avarice, anxiety, and attitude. May God help us to be people with having eternal values. May God bless us with these words. Thank you.